The doors to Elliot's loft is open, and that means it's time to move some things around, hit a couple buttons, and start an episode of When Black Men Talk. Mark Elliott, Mr. D. Maurice, Mr. Charles. We get together for a weekly conversation. And sometimes the conversation we get together and have prior to having a conversation should be the conversation. It just should be sometimes. It's just amazing what we kind of talk about sometimes when we're not basically doing the show. And in a way, gentlemen, I want to go ahead and go back to something we talked about maybe a few weeks ago. It's going to tie into some things we're going to talk about today. And we had a conversation a couple of weeks ago where we're just kind of off the rip, just talking. And we talked about basically, in a way, we talked about grace. I'll kind of tie it into our conversation in a second. Grace is kind of undeserved favor when you think about it. And we were speaking in a sense, without really going deep into what we was talking about sometimes should we be there and air and help out, sometimes should we shouldn't. And we all kind of had our different opinions, and we kind of stood by them. But I want to kind of go back, and again, I want to really go into that conversation, but I just want to kind of hit the outskirts of it because, to me, the stance I took is that really, it's tough for us in a sense to kind of give, basically, speaking of grace, but I felt like we should make an attempt. And I say that, Mr. Charles, because a lot of times we're given things, or we have things, or we possess things mentally. Some of folks may have not reached yet. They may never reach. And if they're trying to lean into what we have, should we basically hold that back and not give it?
I'd say, no, I wouldn't say you should hold back. I mean, I think it's natural, as you said before, considering that the way it's connected to God and what He has done, continues to do for us, and blesses us every day. No, I think we should try to be about the business of trying to get it done. But I do think some of the issues I know for myself is that causes me to maybe hold back a little bit and not just naturally give to whoever or whatever. One is attitude, man. It's about the attitude, about how you come across and what you're thinking when you see what's going on and when you're around that situation and all that too. Also, too, to jump on that, the situation itself. How's it presented to you? You know, somebody trying to run a game on you. You should just do it just because it's the right thing to do, or they think it's the right thing to do. And also, too, lastly, which is really connected as well, is perception, man. You like, man, what is this? What is this? Do I? Maybe I could get to something else that really worthwhile. You're trying to perceive what it is, but then again, sometimes it's not up to you to decide what you should give to. But I think that's an ongoing struggle. At least I can say that for myself.
I hear you. It's interesting because I always say we started this out years ago dealing with love, relationships, and different things about life. But I stood back a little while ago recently, and I realized that we have done so many shows, and a lot of the shows we've basically brought forth, we dealt with the intricacies of men, the complexness of us, our details. We've been vulnerable. We lay stuff out there. We don't really hide from things. And that's what I really love about what we do here when Black Men Talk. So when I come to you, Mr. DeMaurice, and I'm saying, undeserved favor in the sense that, yourself, and we as men, we all basically have been given certain gifts. And when we have gifts, it's okay to open them up and, look at them. But there are some times when those gifts need to be shared. So if we're not making an attempt to share those gifts, are we doing a disservice to the one that gave us those gifts?
I think in certain situations, you have to have a good judgment on who's using those gifts in the wrong way or against you or to do something wrong with them and or using them not in the best interest of what it's meant to be used for. And you just have to have discernment, I think, in these situations because sometimes you can give whatever you can give and it turns out that the person is using it to take advantage of somebody else or another situation. So I think we all have this grace inside of us, but we also have a sense of discernment of what to give and what not to give. And it reminded me of a long time ago, a grandma. she had a chance. Somebody was sitting there talking to her about something, and I thought she was going to come and kind of say something to, soothe them and kind of, put a bomb on it and give them some words like she always gives to us. She always comes with the Bible with us, but she didn't say anything. She just sat there and just shook her head. She's like, well, it'll be okay by and by. And I'm like, I'm sitting there and I never asked her this, but I'm like, why she didn't kind of give them the spiel that she usually gives us and all that stuff. And it made me think of this conversation. Maybe she felt that this person needed to kind of figure it out, or that what she would say wouldn't be as effective or even taken at that particular point. And she was, I think all of us got a little bit, I don't know if most of us use it, but she was very good at discerning whether or not the person that was sitting in front of her was a good person or a bad person. I mean, she was just very good at it. It was uncanny how she could just look at a person, listen to them. She'd look at them with them piercing eyes, and and you looked in her eyes, you knew it was the truth. You knew it was the truth, and you couldn't lie to her. You could not lie to this woman. You could not lie to her. Those eyes look like God was in those eyes looking through you. So I think it depends on the situation. We have it, but just like in the Bible it says, don't kind of give people your heart. Have some discernment. So I think in certain situations, it's good for you to have, but it ain't for everybody sometimes.
No, I agree with the discernment part, man. I agree with both what you gentlemen said. I think was right on point. And the discernment part is really the key. I like that because to me, if you feel like you're basically giving someone's grace and they're not going to use it properly, you almost feel like, actually, I'll take the word almost out, like you're wasting your time talking.
Mm.
And maybe grandmama, when she was looking at that person, feel like I'm not even going to waste my time, my energy, because I know this person is not about to do what they need to do. And when you understand that, I understand that to an extent where you kind of basically say, you know what, no, you're not ready. So sometimes people basically, even if you give them the grace and what they really need to move forward, they're not ready to accept it, handle it, and move on. And it's kind of is a waste of time at that point because you're giving knowledge or you're giving some grace to something or to someone that just really can't receive it. But I want to go to the gifts that he gives us. I say he, meaning God, and he gives us the gift of forgiveness. He gives us the gifts of acceptance, and he gives us the gift of love. Three strong things. When you think about the makeup of a man, you know, those are valuable right there. And one thing about most men, we don't give gifts out that easily. Now, some men do. Some men basically give gifts out to basically try to get something back and gain something. But when a man is really being true to who he is as a man, he's not basically giving those gifts out just that freely. Those gifts, in a sense, have to be earned. So when I look at the gift of forgiveness, acceptance, and love, Mr. DeMaurice, I'm going to swing this one back to you. Sometimes as a man, we need to work on giving those out. Again, we're selective. We're using discernment. We're using based on how they're presenting themselves to us, their attitude, how they're coming, what they're speaking of. But shouldn't sometimes as a man, because I still would say this, we lead. We lead. And when you lead, you set the tone to what's going to follow. Now, sometimes we lead and the tone don't get followed. I understand that. But if we don't lead first, we can't expect others to do. That's why we were placed here first. That's why we're given the man being the title of the man, and we take on those responsibilities where we want to honor them or not, my opinion. But when you look at those three gifts, forgiveness, acceptance, and love, if you had to choose one and say to yourself, I need to lift some weights on this gift. I need to get stronger. I need to be more, detailed when it comes down to this. Which one would you choose?
That's a tough one because, forgiveness is sometimes, depending on the situation, it could be very hard. But, you always have to remember that forgiveness is not about the other person; it's about you. And why would you, be carrying around those heavy chains around your neck? Hurting yourself. Acceptance of certain things. I think probably is the most. The thing that I would say that I have to work out a little bit more because it's hard for me to accept defeat or that I can't do something because and I blame my family and I blame both sides of the families because you don't want to accept not being able to do something. You're gonna make it work no matter what. You're gonna figure out a way, and so that was kind of ingrained in me that whatever it is, you gotta win. You gotta make it better. You gotta do better. So sometimes is what it is, and you can't do anything about it. And so I think over the years I've gotten better about that. Like, well, okay, it is what it is. Let me just deal with it. But I think that acceptance of I think I mentioned earlier about the health scare I had earlier in the summer. It's still taking me hard to accept it. I'm working out, I'm doing all this stuff because I'm like, I got to get rid of this. And I think in ways that drives me to do better. But I can see in different situations where it's like, okay, you can't do anything about it. It takes a little bit of time for me to accept certain things as they are, instead of trying to do everything that I humanly possibly can do to change it. So acceptance is probably the one thing that gets me.
I hear something when I hear you speaking, my brother, which is what you basically said. And we do this, man. We hold others to accountability. So when I'm hearing you say, I blame my family, both sides of the family, are you taking on the accountability? Because to me, when a person doesn't take accountability, they're looking beyond and they're looking for others and they don't really take the acceptance. And that's
Oh,
part of acceptance, it's taking accountability.
oh
So
yeah,
let's go back. Let's go
yeah.
back when you say
I beat
when you
myself up all the time. Yeah, I
okay,
start with me first. Like,
okay,
man, I should have done this. I should have done this. I should have done this. But then I try to think about, where did I get this from? How did I get like this? How did I get to a point where I'm fighting things that are kind of set in stone, so to speak. So I start with me first. I'll be the first to say, and people who really know me be the first to say, man, you're too hard on yourself. And I've heard that
okay.
a lot in my life. Like, man, you just real hard on yourself. If I don't get something right away, if I'm not moving as fast as I want, I start with me first, and that's the one thing that I will do. And one of the things, and I do put it on family, but I do put it. My father kind of made me that way because he would say, any situation that I was in, he would always ask me, "Well, what did you do? What did you do?" And so
Accountability.
that makes me that as a man, that makes you accountable to think back what you did before you start looking outward. And so he would always say that. And I have a good buddy of mine who lives in Chicago. He would always do that. You would hate, and I think I mentioned on my show earlier. I would hate to go with him because I would come. Your brothers sit there and talk like, man, such and such and such, such and such. And so he'd be sitting there listening. He said, "Well, what did you do about it? And how do you end up?" And said, "Man, I ain't talking about that." You listening to what I'm saying? Did you hear what they did? Such and such.
Oh
And
my
you would hate
goodness.
to talk to him, but he would always put that on you before you start blaming. So I do blame other people, but I start with me first. And because of what Dad used to say, I was like, okay, well, what did you have to do with the situation? How did you end up in this situation? What did you do? What were the steps? Let's look at that first. And so, but it's always, I know as a black man, you always hear this, is that you have to be twice as good to even be considered standard in this society. I mean, that's something that is ingrained in you. And so when things don't work out, when you see situations that, you want to change and it's going to take a while longer, or they may never change, that gets ingrained in you and you don't want to accept whatever it is, racism, anything. You don't want to accept it and you want to do something about it. And you're fighting every day. And I'm pretty sure that's stressful on us, that we're in situations where we just it's not going to turn around overnight. But we still get on that treadmill and we still get in that ring and we still battle it every day.
Appreciate it. Mr. Charles, I look at this three list of forgiveness, acceptance, and love. Now, I never met you, my brother. I never met you, but I think I know enough about you to know which one that you may need to work on. But I'm gonna let you tell me, then I'll figure if I'm wrong or not, my brother.
Wait a minute. Look. Since you said that, I want to know
I
which
want
one
to
you
know.
think first.
I
Before
want to
I even
know.
say what I want to know which one you think. 'Cause, see, this might help me. This might be a therapeutic moment. So, because I ain't never been to therapy, and I fight therapy because I don't think I need it because I done made it this far. To hell with y'all. I'm gonna do what I do. But no, I'm very intrigued by your answer. I like to hear it first before I even say what. And I'm still going to say what I say because I got my mind's
Absolutely.
already marked. But I want to hear what you think. This might help me.
Absolutely.
This
Yeah.
might help me grow.
If I had to choose one, because knowing who you are, man, you're a loving brother. You're a loving brother. You don't hide your love at all, which is beautiful. You acceptance, you find a way to accept, but forgiveness, you put 2 feet on the brake pedals, my brother. When it comes down to forgiveness, I ain't forgiving no mofos. I ain't forgiving them. They did that. You. So I had to choose. I'm gonna say forgiveness, and I think that would be the one. If you had to go lift some weights in, that would be my choice, bro. Now you can tell me if I'm wrong, but that's where I would check.
That's kind of deep, though, and I received that. I think I do need work on forgiveness, but for me, it's a little different, right? I think I work on, and I really, even though it may sound like I don't, and maybe I need to work on that because maybe I'm fooling myself. But there's a difference between forgiveness. Because if I couldn't forgive you, then I can't be around you. Okay, I'm being straight up. If it's something that bad, whatever, it's hard. If I couldn't forgive you at all, I'd be thinking about it so much because I think you did me wrong or something so horrible. I couldn't be around you because of who I am. I just couldn't do it and not just be like, man, this is some bullshit. I need to tell this MF what I'm really thinking. I couldn't be around you. But I think there's a difference between forgiveness and forgetting, right?
Mm,
Okay. For me, I forgive. I'm like, all right, well, I ain't gonna worry about it. Our relationship's just not gonna be the way it was. It's not that I don't forgive you, but I damn sure don't forget. Because you ain't
mm,
coming back tomorrow and do the same shit you did to me before. And you know what you did. That's the other thing, real quick. You know what you did, and you act like some people act like it wasn't nothing. I couldn't do that, man. I could not do that. As much as I love my brothers and my love you guys and love my family and people that are important to me, if I knew I did something horrible to you and I don't say nothing about it, what kind of person are you, bruh? So I forgive you, as they say. My dad would say, or my cousin would say, I forgive you. I just can't f with you no more.
mm,
But I ain't mad at you. I just don't want to be around you because what you did is just horrible. So we cool, but I just can't be on the same level. So I won't forget, and maybe that's my issue. So maybe I'm wrong on that, but sound like I got to work on a couple things because the one I was going to do sound like I got to work on a couple things, and I'm okay with that. So I'm about to write that down. You need to work on this because evidently you come across like you mad as hell. Anyway, so I'm gonna circle that one down too. I need more work, so I'm not perfect. Damn, here we go
mm.
again. Anyway, but the one I was gonna really, because I thought I got past that, but evidently not. So the one I'm gonna talk about is, hey, I'd say, I think acceptance, man, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I strive, as it says, we try to need to be accepting of certain things, and we need to be. And when you think about God's favor to us, who are we to judge people and not be accepting of what comes to us, even with situations that DeMarie said. But I struggle with that because I want to accept. I want to be this person that does the right good things and help almost anybody do the right things for the situation. But sometimes, man, I ain't gonna lie. When I see people and maybe I'm judging them, when I go into a situation or presenting it to me, I think about how can I help them, what can I do, how can I be whatever. But then after a while, if they're not doing anything, then comes me as, damn, it's a lack of effort on their part. They don't appreciate what you did, and they don't even care. They don't give a damn. So what I'm supposed to do? I can't help you if you're not ready to move forward or try at least. I can only put a band-aid on it. And maybe that's not for me to judge, but I know I need to work on that because you're supposed to be accepting of whoever with the situation. You don't know what it is. But I don't know. That I know that's one of the ways. So sounds like I got two things to work on.
Yeah, what's mine? What's
Well,
mine? What's mine?
well,
What's mine, Mr. Mark? What's
oh,
mine?
oh, I like that, Mr. Mark. I'm gonna, man, bro. I'm a you love Waterway, bro. You're a love because to me, I say yours a love. I'm gonna give you two a chance to say mine too after we deal with this. But I, to me, I say love for you, Mr. DeReese, because you have forgiveness, bro. It's in you, man. You love people and you're very accepting. You see people where they are and you'll love them where they are. But I think when it comes down to loving those less than, meaning if you spent some time with someone and they disappointed you, ah, ah. you, when you walk, you taking your checkers, your ball, you taking you, you ain't leaving nothing behind. You taking your love. Don't look at me. Forget I exist.
Don't look at me. Don't look
Don't look
at
at
me.
me. Don't know nothing about me. Scrub me from your memory bank. Now I don't know if
Oh.
that hits home, but that's what when I see as the three gifts. So it's nothing to love about. It's like you
Uh,
know, that's what I hear. And I'm gonna say this, man, because it's when I look at the three, and I'm gonna have you to, of course, pick one you feel I need to work on. And I look at forgiveness. I've always been big on forgiveness. Acceptance, I say sometimes that might be the one I kind of because it's hard for me, even though I'll say it. Dumbness, it's just idioticness. It's just hard to kind of grasp that sometimes. Even though I can understand it, I find a hard time really doing that love. I'm wide open to love. But I want to go back to something you said earlier, Mr. Reese, when you talked about your physical condition. And I remember when you talked about it, you kind of said, if I remember correctly, you might have said, "How did I get there?" You blame this or you blame or whatever. You a couple of times and you were like angry. Let me give you something a little different, man. And this might kind of help you in your journey that you're going through with your health. My father died of a heart attack, had prostate cancer, when I was 33, 34. So I didn't have to wait. I could have waited until I was 40 years old to start getting checked for prostate cancer. I started immediately. Finger right in the ass. PSA test. And I remember going to my doctor and saying that. He said, "Well, you got five." I said, "No, I want to start now." Now, chances are, if that's in your family, it's a possibility. That's why they really want you to test, especially for black men, that can come upon you. Sure enough, age 59, my doctor says to me, "Hey, Mark, your PSA jumped from 2.9 to 4. Let's say 4.0." I said, "I'm looking at the chart. That's I was going to be at 4.0 next year anyway. Why not just get there? Listen, no, well, you want to go get this checked out." I said, "I just don't understand if it's not." She said, "No, I'm a little scared why it jumped." She said, "It may not be nothing." Actually, it's 2.5. It may not be nothing. Let's go get this checked out. All right. You go get the blood test done, send me to a urologist. So basically, they do an MRI. He does a test there. Basically, yeah, your PSA, I mean, your prostate is smooth. But you know what? Let's go a little further. So we do an MRI, and They detect basically, they call them pyrads, but in reality, they're little tumors. And they basically, at this point, what we're going to have to do is a biopsy to see what's going on. All right, do the biopsy, come back. It's so funny when the biopsy comes back. The guy the doctor that did the biopsy, he comes to me. We do a video chat. Hey man, you're fine. You're going to be good. So in the meantime, I'm learning as much as I can about prostate cancer, and I'm learning what I should eat, what I shouldn't do. So come back. I have a grade 6, and grade 6 means for the most part it's there, but it's not there. And I have low grade, which means basically it's there, but it's probably never going to move. It's never going to metastasize, meaning that it will grow into your body. It's just there. And like I said to myself, yo, damn, my father had this. He passed this on to me. No. I looked at it, this is what God wanted me to go through for whatever reason. So in the meantime, I'm learning much as I can. I'm eating and I'm doing some things that supposed to help out. And 2 years later, 2 or 3 years later, I stopped doing the biopsies. I read I don't have to do that. They don't like about it, but I stopped. So my peers say, so basically I line into, let's just do surveillance every year to make sure nothing's moving, and we're good. Well, this year, a few months ago, I go down, there's like the guy that I was saying said, your PSA went up a little bit. He said, that happens, but let's just do an MRI. I do that once a year anyway. Lo and behold, I go to the MRI, and it comes back a couple of days, actually a day later. I didn't even see this on MRI. I basically saw before I spoke with my urologist that nothing's changed. Okay. So him and I do a video chat talking about it. He says to me, well, you no longer have 3 tumors. You're down to 2. 1 is gone. So I'm not, when I look at it, thank you, Lord. So I take that and I go, when I got this, I didn't blame no one. And I'm not coming against anyone that does this. I'm just saying I never blamed anyone. I was like, you know what? God, you had me my entire life. You got me through this. Show me what I need to do. That's what I did. So in a matter of 2 years, I lost one, bro. He's taking it away. He's taking it away. Now, if he's gonna take that one away, you don't think the other 2 are eventually gonna go away? So I say that to say, for me, I look at it different. I don't look to blame. In a way, my brothers, I look at my father. I took a couple of traits from him. My father basically had a bald spot, and they said I got a bald spot early in my life. My brother basically was 60 years old, still had head of hair. I was cutting my hair bald at 31, 31, 32. Had to, Brad, no other choice. So I hear what you're saying, and maybe something I'm saying kind of inspired you. I don't know. But so when I heard you said, when you came on, you said by the time I'll blame him, bro, I love you, and you know I do. But I'm just going to say this to you because I love you. Your family didn't go into Krispy Kreme. They ain't going to Big Mac. They do those things. They ain't do cheesecake, my cousin. You did those things, man. You did those things. And I told you recently what the hell to do. Now, I told you what to do.
So yeah, I appreciate that, receive that. And it's not all the time where you think that, because I think I shared with you, the epiphany I had when this came down, that I came down that this is a testimony here, and that
yes, sir.
Be careful what you ask for, because you just might get it. So one of the things that I asked for, and I had to laugh about the other day, because I hadn't even noticed it, with all the work that I'm doing, I've lost about, I think I was at 195 at one particular point. And I'm looking in the mirror every morning, and I'm like, something's, you look good in the morning when you wake up, because you got the 6-pack going, all this other stuff. And I didn't notice it, but other people noticed, hey, man, you losing weight. And I'm like, well, I don't think so. I got on the scale, I'm like 184. And I'm like, okay. So I did ask for, it's like, I want to be in the best shape of my life. I got to get to a point. I got to get back at least one more time. One more time. I just kept asking. I got to have one more time. And here it is. Maybe this is something, it was like the epiphany came up again like a few days ago. Maybe this is something that will get you more discipline to get you where you want to go. It wasn't in the package that you wanted it, but this is the package that you have. to get you, to help you keep that in mind, that this is a thing that you need to do to get your body the way you say you want to get your body. So I have this little weight machine that I get on, and it's hooked up to an app where it tells you, okay, here are things that you need to work on. Here's your BMI, all this other stuff, your heart rate, all this other stuff. And so I had the goal of 185. I dialed that goal back to 180. And so it's like, okay, I got to do like, 4 or 5 more pounds. Let's see where I am at that particular point. I might have to tailor my suits again, but that's okay. That's okay.
There you go.
So
there you go.
it's not all the time, but it does get frustrating at times. I'm not going to say that everything is, you wake up every morning. I mean, I do have those times where you get, and I think every man does, where you just get frustrated. Like, man, and you do have those moments where you're kind of thinking of, but it's not all the time. It's not very often, but sometimes those thoughts do come, but it always bounces me back to, what I asked for, and what I've gained over a certain time, and talking to good people around me who are always encouraging me, and always because when I mentioned the other night we were on the sports show about Burger King, I knew where that came from. I knew where that came from. Not Burger King, but McDonald's. I knew where that came from, and I thought about it afterwards because your brother had a struggle with going to McDonald's twice a day, and you didn't find out until you actually went to a drive-through, and the folks kind of ratted him out. So when you said what you said, I was like, I know exactly where that comes from, and that's out of love. And we'll probably you might want to share that story at some
Oh yeah.
day and time. So Charles knows that story, but you were just truckling like, you better not go to no McDonald's. And I told Papa about that last night. He fell out laughing. He's like, yeah, that's him. That's Mr. Mark right there. The only way you should go, and I ain't gonna say it on your show. But
You gonna say it? Say it.
But I got a lot. You knew I wasn't going, but just you saying that, I knew where it came from. I knew I kind of, took off a little Band-Aid off a scar because, I know I loved your brother. I know you loved your brother. And, we just had some hard-headed members in our family who just weren't going to
Yes,
do right.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
sir.
you got, rest assured, I'm doing right, bro. I'm doing right. I did not
Okay.
go to
I'm
Burger.
happy to hear
I
it,
did
man.
not grab
I'm
a
happy.
Big Mac or a Krispy Kreme.
I'm happy to hear it.
These are jokes.
This is jokes. Okay. Yeah. You talk about my brother Larry, who's no longer here. And Larry, at one point, to my belief, he never said this to me, but to my belief, Larry had high blood pressure that was unchecked, which basically started to damage his kidney. So his doctor told him at this point, your kidney's failing. Stop drinking soft drinks. Stop drinking this. Eat fish. Gave him a variety of stuff to do. My brother, you would have thought when the doctor said that to my brother, he gave him subscriptions, free subscriptions to soft drinks. He just started picking up and started drinking them. Bang, 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 bang. Well, I remember, my stepbrother said to me, Larry's not so bad. I said, well, Larry's a grown man. If he wants to drink them, you and I didn't sit in the doctor's office. He did. So if that's what he wants to do, so do it. So you speak of the Burger King incident. One day, him and I were rolling into a Burger King. You want something? I want nothing to eat, man. So he places an order, and you have to drive. Once you place the order at the drive, speaker.
Was it
You
McDonald's or
drive.
Burger King?
It was Burger King. It was
Okay.
Burger King. It was Burger. Yeah. So he drives around, and when he turns, the lady that took the order, her head is out the window, and I'm thinking to myself, why is this woman's head out the window? When he pulled up, she laid into him. You need to stop coming here. You come here 3 times a day. This food is not good for you. She said, this car is at this place. Yes. She said, you need a home-cooked meal. Now, this is a man that's one step from dialysis. My brother. One step. He's just sitting there taking it. I'm cracking up. I'm sitting on the passenger side. I'm ready to open the door and fall out on the ground. She said, no, you need to stop. She's telling me, you need to stop coming here. Now, I don't think he listened to her both so much. He just might have went to another Burger King. Eventually, my brother did fall on dialysis. He was blessed to find his stepdaughter was able to give him a kidney, and that lasted in his body for a good period of time. And then when that kidney started to fail, he basically didn't do some things he should have done. And at that point, his life took a turn. And during COVID, he passed on. So, to me, there's no harm in going back and speaking the truth. And it's not like when I go back and talk about him or anyone else, I hear people saying, Judge, I just talk. If it comes across me in judging, maybe that's your interpretation. But to me, the truth should always stand. It was what it is. And for my brother, in a sense, he heard some things he chose not to be diligent to. He wanted to do his thing his way. And a lot of us hear things from doctors and we act like we know better, we can take for them. No. I say if they say something to you, do your homework, find out what's going on. Just don't take it always out of their mouth either. Do your thing, find out what's really going on. But I say try to do things before you even get to them. You don't have to wait till something takes you over. There's greatness in prevention. There really is. And we need to learn that. I saw a video the other day, actually a story the other day. His cat was 83 years old. He does 100 push-ups a day. 82. I'm good for 50 or 60. This cat's doing 100. And I'm not saying he got there overnight. He said a few years ago he just started doing it. He does high-intensity training with people half his age. Come on. So what's your gripe? What are you complaining about? Because if you're blessed to wake up every morning, shut your fucking mouth. Shut it. Because you ain't doing what you need to be doing. You're not grinding. You're not doing what God's giving you an opportunity to do. I don't want to hear it. You're taking medication, try to get the fuck off of it. Stop complaining. Stop being in that group. I don't want to get too long with this. So, Mr. Charles, you had to choose one. I need to work on. Let's get it, boss.
Damn, some things happen. I ain't got to say one damn word, but it's here. So I'm glad you opened this opportunity. I would say, wow. I probably would say acceptance, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna be mine.
Yeah. And I come to know who you are and learn about you. And like you said, we never met. But I just gotta, I sit back and I watch and I listen and it's like anything else. You got to let time show you everything, right? Give you time. So I'm sitting there going, listen. I'm like, all right. But it's just sometimes you go, depending on the situation, and I go, bless his heart. That's just who he is. That's what he knows. That's who he is. And, and, and,
Let
and,
him
and
cook.
you-
Let him cook.
yeah, and you're not the only person. I promise you. I got people in my family that are very similar to how they go about their way. And I'm like, that's who they are. That's how they, based on how they grew up with the experience, that's who they are. And I had to learn that you got to be accepting of everyone and some of their views, even though that may not be the way that you came across. That's what makes the world beautiful, right? Especially people you care about and love. Anyway, with that being said, certain times I think you just go, I don't know what it is, it gets inside you. You just go, I don't understand why they do what they do. And then it shouldn't have to be this way. Not our people. Our people got to be better. And then you get to that point. This makes no sense. There's no reason for the foolishness and the hell with the circumstances. I'm like, wow. I'm like, wow. Wow.
Hey, man, you on point. You on point. What you got, Demon Reese? What you got? What you got, man?
It's the same thing. It's acceptance. And sometimes you come off. I know it's not you, but you come off as other people's opinion is not as strong as yours. And so that other people's life experiences, no matter what their life experience is, they got to do it like you. they
Oh.
got they got they got to think like you. And not everybody does that. So I know me and Charles will sit back and go, okay, it's a show. Let them cook, and he got the final word. So don't argue with it. So even us being in the same family, our experiences are different. And I realized that, the way you were brought up, the way I was brought up, our moms were sisters, but my experience is real different from yours. And at times it comes out, and I just sit there and realize, like, man, he didn't experience this, or I didn't experience that. And so even you're in the same family, sometimes you don't experience the same things, or, we have other sides of the family that we experience things with. And so, yeah, sometimes I think when you get tunnel vision on something, you ain't hearing nothing else of
Woo!
what other people got to say. This is the way it is, and Mr. Mark has spoken, and that is it. Take it or leave it, like
Oh.
it or lump it. This is the way it is.
Oh, you didn't got to go back to like it or lump it. You didn't
Like
go
it or
back to
lump
like
it.
it or lump it. Oh, you didn't go back. No, I receive what you two gentlemen said, and I'll take that in the heart, man, because I look at it when people that love you speak to you, your heart should be open to it because they bring nothing to you but goodness and bring nothing but value, because only increase and make you better. And that's what we do here, man. We have a chance to open up and we share some things, and we never know who's basically listening that it may touch or affect. I might may get them to see something different, think about something different. And I've said this on a few occasions. I have listened to you gentlemen and maybe have a thought about something and hear the way you express your idea, your fact, and I'm open to it and I change. And we're never too old to basically grow and be better. So I'm happy that yeah, we can come together and do this, man. We can come together and have conversation. Yeah, and don't and what I do love about even at the times when you guys realize, hey, that's who I am, you never took it personal. You never took it to where it was against you, hold it against me, whatever the case may be, and that I love and I'm respected of, and that's how it should be. So no, I hear that, I welcome it. Of course, it makes me laugh, and I love to laugh. Laugh is good for my health. But yeah, I'll take that in. I can't say I haven't heard some of those things before. Guess that's the first time I heard it. But I will make a point of basically trying to basically do something about it. And I think as men, that really that's what we need to do, man. If we can't check each other, who can check us? Who can check us? Because our parents are our main checkers, and they were at a certain point in our life. But as we grew older, we still need people and surround ourselves with people that can basically come in and check and say, you know what, dog, you're kind of looking at this the wrong way. Dog, you may want to rethink this, and we should be open to do so. And then again, that's how we grow. So I want to thank you too. With that being said, Mr. Charles, I'm gonna slide you the chance to give a question, sir.
Yeah, that's so deep, man. I'm sitting there going like, ooh. um, I guess my question, I'm trying to just think about stuff in general. If there were some thing, I guess we always look at self improvement, but is there something or some things that you think that you as a person would like to improve upon in coming up in the near future? And I know, and I say it because I know we live in certain stages of life, and I know we always talk about improvement and think about personally our own improvement. But there's some things right now that you're saying to yourself, hey, I like to be better in this area or improve in this area.
Hmm. Um. You know, that's a doozy. That's a good one. Um. phew. You know, this is gonna sound ooh conflictory, but it's what I feel, so I'll go with it. Um. I There's a part of me because I'm not a big reader of the Bible. There's a part of me that wants to venture in, and I do some. But what I find is that even without reading it, a lot of it lives inside of me. So that's where I kind of say to myself, but I am going to do more of that. But I do notice that. So that's what I would render as my response to that. Your response, Mr. DeMaurice.
Here's a way to do this, and I did it in grad school. Read a chapter or two from the Old Testament and New Testament every day.
Okay.
you'll find that you'll get through the Old Testament quicker, and then you'll just go through the I think yeah, you'll get through one of the testaments quicker. But I made a point because I remember I promised grandmother I'll read the whole Bible before she died. I said I'm going to read the whole Bible, and that's the way I did it. That's the way I did it.
Okay.
But my I think what I want to improve on is that I remember one day saying, I was praying and I'm like, you know, Creator, I just I don't want to be asking for things. What do you want? What I want to be your friend. I want to be somebody you could talk to. You could laugh with. I want to be the Creator's friend. So I always strive to try to be a friend to the Almighty instead of always coming to ask for something. I read, you read in the Bible where, there were a few characters. I know some people call it analog, but or stories about religion. But you read certain characters that were like God. David was like the heart of God. Things that Solomon, asked for wisdom, got that. I want to be a friend. I want to be able to talk and go back and forth and learn, and also to um, be of a human experience through the Creator, because he can't bring himself down to me. So how can I show you how this kind of works, and the feelings and all this stuff, and what we go through? What do you need from me? What can I do for you? Instead of always asking for things like he's Santa Claus or something. So that's what I think I need to. You can always get improvement on that and being more spiritual and being closer to the Creator.
That's good stuff, Mr. Reese. Thank you for the tip too, man. Thank you for that
Yeah.
tip. Very useful. Thank you. Appreciate it. Mr. Charles, I don't know how you do it, man, but you come up with some good questions, my brother. Your response to it.
Yeah, no, I think similar to what DeMarie said, but I think mine's a little different from the standpoint of I always ask constantly, as far as creator slash the Lord to help me become a better man. And what I mean by that is how can I become more like him in regards to doing his work, right? Because I know sometimes I get caught up in doing what I want to do for me and whatever I think I would consider to be successful and what my success should be or what I want to do in my life. But I always ask, is there something I'm missing? Or, I think we're all provided with gifts. And I ask, how can you please help me use my gifts to help other people? It's constant. We're to a point now that I kind of see that's kind of what I'm able to do. And I've been blessed in that way once I understood it. But I always ask for even more just to say, what else can I do? Can I make a difference in somebody's life that under with your understanding, your guidance, so I can make a difference? And I do that. I feel like, yeah, okay, I'm going about this the right way. So sometimes I might be have a clue, or don't have a clue, but I just ask for the understanding, and also give me the understanding to sometimes just be a listener, man, and not say anything. Not, oh, you know what you need to do, Mark. You know what you need to do, Don. No, no. Sometimes you just need to shut your damn mouth, be quiet, and give people what they need, and that's what I'm asking for.
Well, with that being said, Mr. Reese, I want to apologize for telling you to stay the hell out of McDonald's and Krispy Kreme, man. I want to send you an apology right there, because Mr. Charles, sometimes you gotta just listen. And when you said that, I should just listen. I shouldn't have said nothing to you. I
No,
should have just listened to me.
no. What you said was out of love. That's where I received it.
No, I'm just teasing, man. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
teasing.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just,
yeah.
I'm just teasing. But I could have kept my mouth shut, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Your
Hey,
question is,
timing is everything, though, bruh. Just long as you ain't telling him every day, he might give him one. He might need that one shot of love, of hardcore love. Now you back up off of him because he
And
already
look,
know. There you go.
as long as I know you, you ain't gonna keep that mouth shut. Come on now, that ain't you. That ain't you, man. That ain't you. Don't change now. Don't
you
change.
got it, bro. You got it, man. Your question, my brother.
Um, I was talking to a younger cousin of mine. He's about, and I call him my brother. I call like my college classmates brothers. My cousins, they're all brothers to me. Before I knew I had a brother, they were like my brothers. And one of my brothers, Dwayne, was about 8 years younger than me. We were chopping it up last night. He gave me a call. We were laughing for about an hour and a half, and we were talking about something about health. And he didn't know. his brother didn't share with him, and he lost his dad recently, and his brother didn't share with him why I couldn't come down to the funeral. So I told him and about my health condition, and he told me about his health condition. And in our family, also we have a high blood pressure that runs in our family, and so him being 8 years younger, having to, to deal with this. And he was like, man, I cut out salt and all this other stuff. So I was able to do some research about high blood pressure because that's like been looming in my life for a while now. And I'm like, you got to check out the sodium content of the back of the everything you eat, whether it's salad dressing, whether stuff you even think that doesn't have salt in it, canned food, stuff like that. They use it to preserve the food. So the doctors aren't telling you this; they just say cut out salt. But you got to check this, and then you have to take potassium to offset the salt. He was like, man, bro, thank you. And I said, man, it's almost like, and I want to get you guys' opinion on this. It's almost like the food industry is in cahoots with the medical industry. And they're just handing it off. Like they know you can't get rid of some of this food or that you're addicted to some of these food. So they're just passing you back and forth. They're just passing you back and forth making money. Your thoughts on this, man?
And you being the conspiracist that you are, I'm not surprised. Somewhere lies a book for you to write a bunch of conspiracy theories, bro. I'm going to say that to you now. There's a #1 seller waiting. I'm going to say not necessarily true. And this is something I've noticed just going to the supermarket. I love going to the supermarket. I'm one of those. I've been there, and I even from time to time I venture into what they would call the healthier supermarkets that basically sells. I'm not a big fan of Whole Foods, but stores that are basically really selling you more organic stuff of that nature. And what I notice is some of the basic stuff that is supplied to us that will do our body well, fruit, vegetables, we don't buy, bro. And check it out the next time you walk into a supermarket. Look at the fruit section. Watch how many people walk right by it. No matter what's on sale, they go right by it. Just watch it. They go straight to it. So when I look at that, and I look at the same thing with vegetables, and people basically zoom past vegetables. We didn't start drinking water as a world of people. I've heard when I was younger, some people just say, water don't taste good, it has no taste. That's not the reason why you drink water. We didn't start drinking water until they started putting it in fancy bottles. And then price went up on it. Think about it. You used to be able to get a gallon of water for like 15 cents because nobody was drinking it. So we make choices that we don't know that determines where we are in a medical sense. So it's not companies for the most part doing it. It's the choices that we're making. We're making choices to buy stuff and do things that just it's not good for us. And same thing with seafood and fish, salmon. How many times you walk by where they're selling salmon, see somebody stand at the counter buying? No, we don't. But I tell you where we see a lot of our people, and it's like a revolving door where they're selling liquor. Your response, Mr. Jones.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it is about the choices. I agree with that. I think some people just they're gonna do what they do, and you said that before. You can't help them. But what the one thing that really is, I'm not perplexed anymore. I just shake my head and go, damn. I find out that trying to be healthy costs more.
Mm, mm.
And I
Oh
think
yeah.
that's the point where I do agree with DeMaurice when it comes to the game of the business of being healthy and what they might be interactive of saying, well, you got a choice. We know you either like it so much, you want to be healthy, or you want to have what you want and it be cheaper. And I'm like, that's the part that just more than anything infuriates me because we're telling people you need to do this, you need to make these changes. But when they go to the grocery store or go somewhere else, even go to have a decent meal at a restaurant, trying to be healthy costs you more money.
Yeah.
That's idiotic, bro. I'm saying to myself, what game are they playing? Oh, you need to do this. You need to do this. Like you said, vegetables. Vegetables depends on the right day and time. That shit costs more than you. It costs more, and it's like there's something wrong with that math for me. I think at some point somebody needs to fix it. I know I can't do it today, but on the other hand, though, we turn around and you go. to your favorite restaurant, Burger King, McDonald's, and you go in there and on the special, you get two, I'm gonna say the word, excuse my language for everybody listening. If your kids are listening, blame me, send me the letter. And I'm saying AZZ. Two big ass sandwiches for $3. And
How do
fries.
you pass it up?
You know what I'm saying? I'm hungry than a motherfucker, and I'm hungry, and it tastes good, and I just want it all now. How the hell you gonna do that? You're like, well, damn shit. You got a dollar? I got you. I mean, we working together trying to get a sandwich. In fact, you know what the hell with that? I think I got $6. I'm gonna get you two, and I'm gonna get me two. Come on, bro. Come on, man. So
Yeah.
No,
it's hard, bro, for them to. You supposed to be eating healthy, and they make everything they can. Oh damn! I ain't had one of them in a long time. People reach, remember that one? Like
Oh
people,
yeah, I remember that.
I'm,
It's almost like
hey,
it was last week.
G,
Yeah.
G Maurice. I'm gonna say this so get out the way, Mark. I'm gonna say this to you, G. I'm watching this commercial morning. Oh hell no, I can't do it. I think about you. I'm like, I can't do it for D. I ain't gonna do it for D. But I so value. I've never had one, but I'm intrigued by it. What the hell is a Big Mac chicken? I want one.
Yeah. Chicken Big Macs. Yeah.
Whatever. Same shit. I want. I never had one of those, and I'm like, damn. And I'm saying to myself, I'm trying to make it easier. Well, it is chicken, so probably help you for you instead of the regular Big Mac. And I'm like, oh my God. I said, I want to go over and get one of those. I'm like, nah, D don't need that, and neither do I. So let me
see, D, you got support, my brother. You
Yeah.
got support.
Everywhere, man. Everywhere.
You got support.
I can't afford it. The support I get. Yeah, man.
I already know your answer to about the conspiracy, bro, but give it to us anyway. What you got? What you got?
It was just weird to me. It's like some people won't do their own research. They just rely on the doctors to say, okay, don't eat this, don't eat this. But you know, they're not giving you to a nutritionalist. They're not really kind of giving you all the stuff, or and you got to pry it out of them to get the stuff that you need. So the average person is just, okay, you gave me this news, you told me a couple of things. Okay, I'm off now. I got to figure it out. But a lot of us won't do the research, and so I was able to do the research because I'm like, okay, why is this so when I haven't really eaten salt in X amount of years? Why is this kind of a issue? And then really kind of researching it and studying it, and just wondering why the medical profession is not really, and I know why, because they need to make money, but not
Absolutely.
really, really, just honing in and say, hey, here is a list. Here is the do's and do nots. Here, I want to check this. It's like they kind of see you for a few minutes and then they're off, and then you come back and you're in worse shape, and you can't figure out why, because you're doing what they're telling you to do. They're telling you enough. So it just makes you think that, they know that you're used to eating certain foods, certain cultures are used to eating certain foods, that it's going to be hard to kind of get off it. We had a grandmother who was just, I mean, she got to a point, she was like, you know what, I'm not doing this. I'm going to eat what I want to eat, because I grew up all my life, 60 plus years, eating this. I'm used to eating this. I don't have a palate for that. And so I'm going to do what I got to do. And I remember her saying this, and it hurt my heart. She's like, we all got to die of something.
Yeah.
And it was almost like she giving up. So I
Yeah.
think the medical profession needs to be more diligent in letting people know, okay, when I say salt, I mean sodium. This is how much sodium you should have every day, and cut it off at this. Look at the back of the packages and look at all the sodium, even in vegetarian and healthy food. You look at, if it's in the freezer, look at the sodium content. Sometimes it's 900 milligrams. It's like, that's like more than half of what you should have for the whole day.
Yeah.
And so I think they need to be better at this, because it's almost like they're handing you off. He's like, either you're going to pay us now or you're going to pay us later. But you're going to pay us.
Yeah. So frame all commercial. No,
Mhm.
but you're right in a sense, man. But think about this for a second, realistically, and you said it to an extent. Um, if they were to do that, there's no comeback. I remember
No.
Chris Rock said the money isn't a comeback. So if
Hmm.
I send you away totally healthy, how to be, I'm not going to see you again. I've had people say to me, doctors. People are going to say, I can't make any money off it. There's nothing wrong with you.
Hmm.
But they said it. I can't, and I respect them saying it. So you're right. When they see where they're going to see you, think about a doctor's visit, especially if you got insurance. You go in there just to get your weight done, check your eyes, do all that, check your blood pressure, $600-700. Think about that. They're so tight now. If they get mad if you cancel an appointment because they think every appointment they already got the money counted out, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't want to seek and find, I'm not blaming them because at the end of the day, it's your health. It's your health. I'm not saying you're meaning you. Got to take responsibility for your own. And I do get the fact. I agree with you. It's cheaper to eat bad stuff, but I will say there's a lot of good stuff go on sale, and we still don't buy it. And I'll say this about health: even if you got to spend more money for it, you're worth it because we spend a lot of more money for stuff that's known to do us no good. Cars, clothes, drugs, alcohol. We do. Let's just be real. We ain't got no problem rolling up to a Mercedes-Benz dealership, spending money for a high-ass price car to ride on and look good in, but then our blood pressure is going through the fucking roof. And then we talk about food being high price. Just saying. So, to me, there's a balance there. So when I hear that, that's what I kind of hear because, yeah, you can definitely, feed yourself better. But if your priorities are out of whack, where you spend your money, because to me, I'd rather spend money on my health and longevity than concerned about what I'm driving with, what I'm wearing, people looking at. But gentlemen, I like to where today and all the time we do this, man. We basically find a way to bring God to the forefront. And I heard that a lot today. And we always do that, man. I love that. And then think about that for a second, man. Where else are you finding that? I mean, there's, and I'm happy for this. There's been a bunch of podcasts that throw up and people are saying things, yelling and screaming and doing whatever the case. But are they really doing something that we're doing? Are they really doing that? My answer is going to be a lot of them are not. They're not. And I'm grateful that we are. It's Mr. Charles, Mr. Reese, Mr. Mark Elliott. We're going to wrap this one up. We get together soon. Love you for giving us an ear. You gentlemen take care of yourself the next time we get together. God loves you. We do too.